On the 31st of March, we're going to be holding a couples meeting together with my husband. It's going to be at JCC Parklands, and it's going to be awesome. Last year, we had amazing couples dinner. It was so beautiful, and we were just open and candid, spoke about everything. And this year we are taking it even a notch higher. I want you to invite all your couple friends, and if you're a couple, it's only 4,000 shillings for the dinner, and normally the dinner is absolutely out of this world. So I want you to get ready for the couples dinner. You don't want to miss it for anything. So make sure you're here on the 31st. We're going to be having an amazing couples dinner. Hey. Hey. Hey.
Get ready, get ready, get ready, because now it's your time, it's your season.
This is your year of supernatural increase. I don't care what the devil says. I decree and declare your hour of visitation has come.
Because if you are doing something great for God, expect opposition. But opposition is a sign of your strong position.
I prophesy that you are unstoppable.
The devil that said you can't make it, one day he will watch you rise. He will watch you get blessed. He will watch you become all that God called you to become.
Don't let what you've done hinder you. Don't you let where you've been hinder you. Don't let what they've said hinder you. Don't you let your past hinder you. You're a woman without limits. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. A woman without limits. Yes, you are. There's nothing the enemy can do to stop what God has for you. There's nothing the enemy can do to stop what God has for you. You're a woman without limits. Woman, 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 woman without limits. Na 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 na. Woman without limits. Woman. Good evening, viewers. You're welcome to Woman Without Limits. My name is Reverend Kathy Kiuna. It's always such a delight to have you tuned in, and I know that these programs have been amazing because of the feedback that you give us. We want to thank you, by the way, for just taking time to give us feedback on how we truly are affecting your lives. It matters to us because that's what Woman Without Limits is all about. We're here to transform lives. And the kind of stories that we've brought over to you all the years have been transformational. And we want to thank God that indeed we are achieving the mandate that God gave to us. The Woman Without Limits is birthed from the Daughters of Zion ministry, which mandate God gave me to raise up the standard among women and to let every woman know that she is not secondary, but she is primary in the agenda of God. And if you look around the world, everywhere, you see that the women are rising up from all spheres of influence. You are somebody. Don't you ever let anybody call you nothing. Don't you ever look at yourself as a sex object. You're bigger than that. You're better than that. God created you for a purpose, with a purpose, and you have to fulfill it. I tell you today we have an amazing guest, and I know that she is going to blow your mind away. Even just her story, where she is coming from, I can't stop listening to her because it's like a myth. The doings of Jehovah are not like ours. He is an amazing God. Her name is Janet Kanini Ikua, and she is an amazing TV news anchor, or came from that. And then she started doing this property show on NTV that was just absolutely beautiful. and then God took her from one level to another. She has a story to tell us. And today, I want us to welcome her on set so that we can buckle our safety belts and listen up. Ladies, would you please welcome with me Janet Kanini Ikua. Very nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
And you're always looking so pretty.
Oh, thank you.
You know,
Ask me how old I am.
I know, right? Is it a secret?
Yeah, it's partly my Kamba genes, you know.
Really? They are deep, eh?
Oh, yes.
But you look absolutely pretty and very young.
Thank you.
Like very, if you wore uniform, you can go to school.
Are you serious?
You really can. You really can.
Thank you.
Now, I'm so glad that you were able to make it today. And we've heard your story over and over again. But like I told you, it can never be enough because it's always new, it's always fresh, it's always beautiful, and always so transformational that we can't stop listening to you. So Kanini, we want to start by where you're coming from, who you are. So maybe you can start introducing yourself.
Okay. I was named Kanini after my grandmother. But I was actually the biggest baby born out of my three sisters. We're three of us. I'm the last born. And Kanini means the small one, Kadogo.
Yes.
Yes. Everyone else in my family is a medic. So my late father was a pediatrician. My mother is a lecturer in nursing. My sisters are doctors. And I'm the one who kind of decided to rebel and go in a different direction.
Media.
Yes, because I've always loved just performing, presenting. In primary school, I used to jump on the table in school and say poems and do debate and dance. I've always loved that. And I guess I did what many children do, you know.
Yeah.
Your career keeps changing by the day.
Right.
So I wanted to be an actress, a singer, a dancer, a ballerina.
Hello.
Yeah, but, you know. So all those things. And I guess that's where it started from, which is why I ended up in media.
And did your parents allow you to fly?
Yes,
Were they okay?
No, they were okay. It's just that when I went to secondary school, unfortunately, there wasn't that much opportunity to engage in some of these things. But I did get a chance to sing in the choir and to be in the drama club. And we went to nationals. Oh, those are good.
Wow.
Those were nice days, you know. We sang Precious Blood Lenana Choir, the best choir ever, I insist. Yeah. So all you other schools out there, I insist we are still the best. Thank you. Yes. So we had good times.
Yeah.
Then when I went into campus, Kenyatta University, there was the traveling theater and there was also the dance troupe. I was a member of both. So traveling theater, well, I guess my mom knows it now. I used to Skype a few lessons and travel to Bungoma, schools in Ushago to go and perform the set books. But I passed. I got my degree.
In school? Oh,
yes.
Nonetheless.
Campus. Yes, I did.
So were you a cheeky person?
No, actually,
Playful?
I was called a Holy Joe. At least through school.
Yeah.
But when I went to campus, maybe it's just that feeling of, you know, now you're... I'm
grown.
And I'm no longer in a convent school. You know, now I'm in campus.
Yes.
And you know, KU, the way it's far.
Yes.
Yeah, so we are on our own community there. So I now got to really learn who Janet is, or Janet, as people who knew me back then know me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, we go Janet.
Yeah.
Janet, everybody.
That's it.
Wow.
So that was me then.
So you were the life of the party?
No, not really.
Yeah.
I guess I'm a mixture of, I'm more introvert than extrovert.
Okay, wait. Because me, what I know is that many people who are what you're saying you are, like wanting theater, singing, being out there, they are sanguines, you know? They're extroverted more than introverted.
No. For instance, if my husband was here, now he's an extrovert. Oh my goodness, he's the life of the party, you know.
Wow.
But I am actually more reserved.
Really?
But then when I'm on stage, when I'm performing, then I just come to life.
You come alive.
Yes.
Wow. So you got chances to go to different schools and stuff like that?
Yes.
And it built you up?
It built me
helped
up,
you?
and actually it helps me get my first job because I I wanted to be in hotel management. I've always enjoyed, you know, the glamorous side of hotel life. But then at that time, years ago, as I said, don't ask me my age. Years ago.
But you know, even a 3-year-old says, a long time ago.
Yes, indeed. But at that time, there was no degree course other than in Maseno University for hotel management. And they were only taking 7 people from across the country.
Wow.
So I didn't make it in. And traveling abroad to Switzerland was 3 million a year. That was just out of our budget at the time. So I decided, okay, the next best thing is Bachelor of Education, Home Economics, which teaches you similar things to hotel management, but not quite.
Right.
So that's how I ended up in KU. And my first job was nothing related to my degree, because I was also a member of the poetry lab in Kenyatta University. And we went to perform at Phoenix Theatre here in in town. And the owners at that time, James Falkland and George Mugai, they saw me performing. And they were like, you know what, Janet, we have this scholarship given to us by Kenya Wine Agencies Limited. And the person who is here currently, there was Lorna Irungu, followed by Charles Kiaria. So Charles was about to finish the scholarship, and he said, we're looking for a new person. Would you be interested? And I said, scholarship in what? In theatre. Learning about set design, directing, the intricacies of just getting in there, being on stage. Right. And I thought, okay.
It's like a dream,
yeah, you know, fine.
And scholarship at that?
Absolutely. So for 2 years, that's what I did. I worked in their office. And then immediately after that, that's how I got my inroad into KTN. Because I also did a show with John C. Biokumo.
Yes.
Called Role Play. Oh, that was fun, because he now, like for me, I was acting as an Indian, and then Mzungu was acting as an African. So it was role playing, what each of us go through. And after that show, you know, he said, hey, Janet, so what do you want to do? And I said, I've always wanted to be on TV. I've always wanted to be a news anchor. So he said, okay, fine, you know, let's go to KTN, see if they're doing screen tests. I went in, and they were doing screen tests, actually, for 2 things. So I auditioned for news, and then they told me there's another show as well. So I said, okay. You know me, I was just a chick, okay, you know, bring it on. So I auditioned, and they said, you know what, we want you for this other show. Are you interested? And the show was a travel show, the first ever on Kenyan television, called Out and About.
Wow.
And if there's one thing I love, it's pioneering things. So I said, let's travel.
Let's travel.
Oh, yeah. And I did that for 2 years.
But that's amazing. Everything was just falling in place.
You see, that's the thing. And I mean, it's strange, because I think God knows the bigger picture.
He always does.
We have our plans. Yeah. Oh my goodness, we have our plans.
Don't we?
You know, we have our degrees and our diplomas and our certificates. But ultimately, what is in me, who I am, is the performer, the actress, is the person who wants to deliver the message using my voice and my entire body. And that's what he put me to do.
Does that surprise you?
Yes.
Because, I mean, the way you're saying, it's almost like a myth. Like it was falling into place. It's as if, you know, but then it takes me back again to the word of God. Yeah. He says he knows the end from the beginning. He knows everything. And he knows everything concerning our lives. Yeah. So he heard you as a little girl saying, I want to act, I want to do this. Yeah. And he just, you know, organized everything. He orchestrated those occasions for you to be able to meet Okumu and, you know, all these other people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you grew up nicely. You enjoyed yourself as you were growing up and everything. You had fun.
Yeah, growing up was fun. Yeah. Being the last born, of course, I was daddy's girl. When I was 10 years old, I remember I went through a phase where I just wanted to be a tomboy. I told my mom, cut my hair short, you know, and I used to wear corduroys and sweaters. And my dad taught me how to shoot bows and arrows. And I used to climb trees. Oh, I loved it.
So you are a real daddy's boy.
Yeah.
Boy girl, that is okay.
Yeah.
You became like daddy.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I had a good childhood.
Wow. Okay. So tell me, you now started news anchoring, and then on top of that, you went to property show.
Yes. So after the travel show at KTN, I decided now to open a tour company and just, you know, now send people around to the places where I have been. That ran for about 7 years. But then for various reasons, I just felt it's not what I'm supposed to continue doing. And also within that time, I had my firstborn. So I left anchoring.
Okay, wait. Before firstborn.
Yes.
So when, in the process, you got married?
Yes, I got married in March 2008. to Mr. George Ikua.
Yes, nice
Full
man.
extrovert. Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
there we go. 2 weeks later, my father passed away from lung cancer, stage 4. So it was a very difficult year. For the next 1 year, I rejected God because I did not understand why he had not answered my prayers, why my mother had taken care of him so much, and, you know, we just didn't see any
fruit.
Yeah. And I reached my lowest point ever. Ever. You know, hiyo kuchimba shimo. Hitting the bottom, I was just depressed. And what brought me out of it is Mavuno Church. When it was at Bellevue, they have this transformational program called Mizizi. And I don't even remember what led me to do it, but I just went and did it.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something, by the end of those 10 weeks, I was transformed. It was just awesome. Wow. And I'll always be forever grateful to Pastor Morethi and Pastor Simon Belli
Amazing
for
people,
that
by
program.
the way. Amazing people.
So since then, at least now, my relationship with God, again, got back on track.
So you started recovering.
Yes.
Isn't it amazing that the first thing we do is blame God for issues that we go through?
You know, it's challenging. I won't lie, faith can be challenging because the word tells us believe. If you believe, your prayers will be answered. But when they're not answered the way you want, what did I do wrong? So you start blaming yourself.
I believed. I had faith.
I did my part.
I did my part. I read the word.
Yeah.
I prayed.
Yeah.
I surrounded myself with Christians. So
That's
hello.
It. Yeah. So of course I started wondering, you know, maybe I didn't pray enough. I didn't read the Bible enough. I should have read 5 hours a day instead of just the, you know, those few minutes. I didn't do this enough. I didn't this. And that contributes to the depression. And this is one thing that I have to tell to people, especially because I've been a caregiver of a cancer patient, my late father. And I know there are very many caregivers out there who wonder, we pray, we believe, but they still die. Why? Please don't blame yourself. As I said before, we have our plans, but God also has his.
The ultimate.
He has his ultimate plan. And maybe we will realize the meaning behind his plan later. Maybe we won't ever until we go to heaven and we ask him, what happened?
Exactly.
You know? So
Exactly.
we just trust and believe.
Even you know, I say this, that you trust him even when you can't trace him. You know, I was just telling you a story just before we came down about my dad. He was the strongest man ever, the strongest. And he never saw a doctor, not for anything, because he didn't need. He was always strong, always a go-getter, thriving. I mean, he was just the, you know, like what you're saying about your dad. Yeah. He was your hero.
Absolutely.
And that's what my dad was. Then we go to hospital and we are told, oh, 4th stage cancer. We are like, okay, where did 1st, 2nd, what do you mean 4th stage? You know, and in a few days, gone.
Yeah.
So I know what you're saying. It can be devastating.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But then again, you look back at the plans of God, because you see the same God that caused you to meet all those people that he wanted you to meet in order to be on TV is the same God. He never changes. He doesn't change.
Yeah.
And the Bible says he knows the number of our days. Yeah. And we're not going to change that. He knows the number. So, so I think it's for us to align. So you understood it, accommodated it, and healed.
Yeah, I did. And after that, you know, now our firstborn was conceived. And excuse me, I was reading news. So my contract ended when I was 8 months pregnant. Went, delivered. And yeah, then I got a stint. Man, I've really been in and out of many shows. So I got a stint to do a show called How to Be Rich at KBC, and it was being produced by Dr. Alfred Mutua's company at that time, the production house.
Yeah.
Did that again for a few months. And then after that, I ended up back on news. I ended up back at NTV, but then now for the property show.
Right.
Yes, the Nsoccer property
Now that's
show.
where I saw you.
Exactly.
Because you were coming immediately after Woman Without Limits.
Yes. Oh, that's it. That's it. Yes, that's it actually. That's
very strategic.
Yes. Perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
There we go.
You know?
Yes.
That's how I met you.
Yeah, yeah, and I did that show now for again about 2 years.
Right.
Won a couple of awards. So I loved it. I loved it. I've never been in real estate. And this is another thing. I've presented shows in industries that I've never studied for. So again, it makes
But
you
yet
wonder.
done so well.
So, I learn a lot while I'm on the job, and it comes in handy in some other way. So plans come around, they work somehow.
Right.
All things work together.
For good.
There
For
we
those
go.
who love the Lord.
There we go.
Right.
And now when I was at NTV is when I fell sick.
So now tell us, now the transition.
Yeah.
Because you are at NTV and you're doing very well, the property show, getting awards and all that.
Yeah.
Then tell us about now this journey.
You know, one day I woke up, it was a Monday, and my leg was swollen, my left leg, but all my joints, including my wrists, were aching. So I just thought, you know, moms especially, what we tell ourselves. And by that time, my daughter was, she was quite young. So I thought, you know, maybe it's just the exertion of going to work, coming back.
Motherhood.
Yeah, because I was also the Pampers Diapers brand ambassador. So technically I had 2 jobs plus 2 young children. And of course a home to run, my husband as well. And so I went to the clinic and took painkillers after I had come back from my shoot. And by the next morning, all the pain had gone except for my left leg. So what do? We go back to work, you know, work has to be done first, priority. The next day, the pain was a bit worse. So I was now on double dose of the painkillers. I was supposed to take only 1 pill in 24 hours, but I thought, let me just take 2 pills. I mean, I don't do this every day.
And what's the big deal?
Exactly.
And this is just exhaustion, because I mean, I've been taking care of 2 kids and a firstborn. You know, our husbands are always our firstborn.
There we go. You know.
We didn't even say that on air.
Exactly. Oops.
Shh, don't tell anyone.
I'm telling you. But I remember Easter was that weekend. So I told myself, let me just work, I'll rest over Easter. So Easter came, and I was being told I should actually go and see a specialist. But then it was Easter, so finding a specialist was difficult. So I told myself, I'll see him after Easter. So we did the thing that I am not supposed to do when you have deep vein thrombosis. We traveled to Ushago, so it was long distance, sitting in a car, cramped. I had kids everywhere, lying on me, so pressure on my leg. Went to Ushago. Us guys are on the slopes, so we walked up the hill, down the hill again. I was not supposed to do that. All this time, my foot was really vimbaing. And you know, because my family, they're medics. So they were just telling me, Kanini, no, something is very wrong, very, very wrong. I said, no, don't worry, I'll take another painkiller. So I popped another painkiller. Easter ikaisha, the next week began. So I said, okay, fine, let me go see the specialist. Oh, wait, I went to see him after I went to work first, because I had a photo shoot for Pampers, and you know, I still had to shoot something for NTV.
Work has to go on.
Work has to go on. So I was limping everywhere, you know, carrying my wardrobe on one shoulder, limping. Went to see him, and he said, let's go do a Doppler ultrasound. I need to see your legs, and also let's check your heart. So I'm wondering, you know, why are you checking my chest? Anyway, so at that time,
What does chest have to do with leg?
Yeah, you know,
Okay.
Exactly. So it was 5:30 p.m. The radiologist, as she was checking my legs, her mood just suddenly changed. And she said, Janet, are you going to see the doctor right now? I said, no, he's already gone home. She said, make sure tomorrow morning, first thing, you see him. I said, okay, fine. Actually, the next morning, she had told me come back in the morning and see him first thing.
Yeah.
The next morning, now I remember, that's when I had the photo shoot. So I told my sisters, So I sent a message. I went to the doctor. I was told, go see him first thing in the morning. She says it's something called DVT. Then I put my phone on silent and I slept. In the morning, I had missed calls from my mom and my sisters, and I'm wondering what's going on.
What's all this?
You know, they're like, Kanini, that is very serious. You must go see the doctor now. So I said, okay, I just have a photo shoot. Let me go, and then I'll come back. By the time I went to see the doctor, suffice it to say, he sent me to hospital immediately. He said, you're not going home. You're not going to get clothes or what. You're going home. I mean, you're going to hospital right now. I was admitted immediately. And I was put on a bed and told, do not move from here. Immediately, IV drip of heparin, because it's a blood thinner, to get rid of that clot. Because the danger with deep vein thrombosis, and this is another thing that I'm trying to educate people on now. DVT, blood clots, primarily form in your lower limbs, but they can travel up your bloodstream to your heart and lungs. A lot of people who you hear have dropped dead, heart attack, or even a brain aneurysm when the clot goes to the brain is because of a clot. But it's only found during an autopsy. Exactly. As in, that thing is an instant killer, like this, which is why I was told, stay still. So I was in hospital for 5 days. discharged, went home for 2 months. I continued working, but now I had to wear these excuse me, antithrombotic compression stockings, which are very tight so that they promote blood flow.
Right. Just hold that thought right there. We'll be right back.
Get ready, because now it's your time, it's your season.
This is your year of supernatural increase. I don't care what the devil says. I decree and declare your hour of visitation has come.
Because if you are doing something great for God, expect opposition. But opposition is a sign of your strong position.
I prophesy that you are unstoppable.
The devil that said you can't make it, one day he will watch you rise. He will watch you get blessed. He will watch you become all that God called you to become.
On the 31st of March, we're going to be holding a couples meeting together with my husband. It's going to be at JCC Parklands, and it's going to be awesome. Last year, we had amazing couples dinner. It was so beautiful, and we were just open and candid, spoke about everything. And this year, we are taking it even a notch higher. I want you to invite all your couple friends, and if you're a couple, it's only 4,000 shillings for the dinner. And normally the dinner is absolutely out of this world. So I want you to get ready for the couple's dinner. You don't want to miss it for anything. So make sure you're here on the 31st. We're going to be having an amazing couple's dinner.
Took some drugs. I was on pills for those 2 months. The end of the 2 months, went for my checkup, and I was okay. But then 1 week before I went for the checkup, I had started getting very breathless from doing small things. I couldn't even carry my kids. I was just tired. So my doctor said, now, your legs are okay, but go and see a cardiologist. So again, I'm wondering, now cardiologist,
Yeah.
what is
Yeah.
all this?
What is
Heart,
this?
legs, or what? I went, and my cardiologist just checked, sat down, asked me, is there anyone you can call? I said, for what? See, I've brought myself. Just tell me what's up. I go and pass the message if I need to. And he said, no, call somebody. My sister works in the same building as him. So I told her, she came upstairs, and he said, okay, you know what? Plain and simple, here we go. You have blood clots in the heart and the lungs.
Sure. Hey.
So I said, no, my legs are
Whoa.
clear. The doctor said, my legs are okay. He said, either the clots traveled or fresh ones developed. Then I said, but I've been on medication. How is that possible? So he said, that's what we need to investigate. Right now, you need to be in hospital. So again, shipped off. My son was actually admitted next door in Nairobi Hospital. And my father had been staying with him. His father had been staying with him. And I had actually spent the previous night sleeping over with my son. So I was tired and everything.
Right.
But you're a mom. The primary thing is take care of your kid.
Of your kids, right.
Kumbe, what was happening inside my body? So I said, okay, look, my husband is with my son. I need to go see my daughter at home at least so that she sees one of us. And then I go to hospital. He said, no, you go now. So I went, I was admitted. My husband was told, your wife, this is the situation. He had to figure out wife, son, who do I take
daughter
care
at
of?
home.
Okay. Yeah, fortunately, my sister, she went with me to Hosi, got me through admission. Now I was put into ICU HDU at Nairobi West Hospital. Of course, I couldn't understand why. I'm like, honestly, you guys, because
I'm fine.
I was talking kawaida, and I was told, stop moving, just stop moving. Because any movement can just trigger the clots to block any of the blood vessels. I was there for 10 nights, 11 days. I'll never forget. And during that period, 2 options were given. Open heart surgery, go in, pluck out the clots, or we do thrombolytics treatment, which is basically, again, through an IV. It's a solution that goes in and busts the clots so that now they disperse. The problem is thrombolytics has a 50-50 chance of survival, because even when you bust the clots, a part might go and still block a vessel. So my husband, story mob. So my husband was told, look, sign this disclaimer form, no, sorry, consent form. I think that's what they call it, the consent form.
Right.
And he asked, okay, when will I know if my wife is okay? And they said, if she's alive after 2 hours.
No, wait. From a leg situation, now they are talking about if she's alive.
Yeah. So we just, I clutched, there's a tiny Bible I carry, and I clutched the photos of my family, and, you know, as the drip started, now my hubby, he had to leave. And because it's Nairobi West, he walked Pakanyayo Stadium in the dark. He was confused. He just walked. 20 minutes after they started the treatment, I started feeling, my heart was just pounding. And the pounding went to my neck, then the pounding was in my head. And I'm thinking, wow, is this what a heart attack feels like? And I was thinking, I won't be able to tell anyone because I'll be dead. I clutched the Bible. I tried to say more verses. In my mind, I was like, oh God, have I repented enough? Have I said all the verses I should say so that I can come to heaven now? I don't know. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Take care of my babies. You know, last minute, basically, yeah. Anyway, the doctors came because I was being watched like this. Yani, tuko chonjo.
To see in case
Yes.
you exit.
I'm telling you. And you know the cubicle where I was put is the one where the previous day I'd seen a dead body being wheeled out. This is ICU HDU. So I saw about
Things happen.
the guy across, the guy right next to me, the first cubicle. There was a baby who died in that one. So I had seen a lot of death around me because I was the most conscious in that ward. Everyone else was, you know, unconscious on, you know, they could barely
Life
do
support,
anything.
yeah.
I was up and about, like, ooh, I was on my phone. I started Facebooking. That's when I started talking about my experience on Facebook.
Actually, that was going to be my second question. My
Yes.
second or seventh. I was actually going to ask how you decided to make it public, because most people,
Yeah.
even if it's a, forget even that dimension of dying in 2 hours,
Yeah.
even if it's less than that, people just don't talk, and especially Africa. We never say
'Cause it's
about
taboo.
sickness, and nobody says nothing. Yeah, you see, when somebody dies is when you're told what they died of.
Yes.
But when somebody's alive, they just never say, what made you say you're African?
You know, when I initially found out about the DVT, I just thought, okay, fine. You know, there are people who find out, who are like asking on my page, you know, how are you? So I thought, okay, I'm learning something here through my experience. And you see, initially the DVT was not really life-threatening for me. So I thought, fine, let me just tell them about this thing, especially when I found out guys just drop dead from it and that there are risk factors that we can prevent. So for education purposes, I decided to share. But now when I was in ICU HDU, it became a form of therapy. The more I spoke about it, and you know, for me, I was, it's almost like I was watching myself in this situation. So I was telling guys, oh yeah, 4 a.m., this guy was wheeled out dead. The guy across, he used to cough a lot. Oh my, the guy next to me. So it was a form of therapy for me to let people know. And then when people started responding, it helped me even more. Because now people were showing their
Interested.
care.
Yeah.
Others who had the signs were asking me, oh my goodness, Janet, could this be it? So I would refer them to a doctor. So I realized, oh, okay, it's actually benefiting some people. And I'm getting comfort from the company, in addition to the guests who are coming to visit me. So I guess that's why. From then on, I just realized, hey, if I'm helping, I'm helping. And if it's helping me as well, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how did you go on from there?
Well, of course,
The blood clots.
I survived the clots,
Yes,
clearly.
yes,
but,
yes.
But within 7 days of being discharged, I got the most massive clot from my knee, stretching all the way up to what's called the iliac zone.
One clot?
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. By the way, a clot is not a T-round. It's basically just blood that has clotted, so it can be any shape. Okay? Yeah. So this one was stretching all the way. And the only thing that stopped it from spreading up again was that my doctor had put in, I like to call it a kichungi, kanakisungi.
Kanakisungi.
That's it.
That's cow. That's really
know?
nice. Yeah.
So it's actually a filter
Yeah.
that stops any clots coming from my lower limbs up again into my zone. So that stopped it in its tracks. And now we knew that there's a big problem. My blood is just prone to clotting, and they needed to figure out why. So that started me on injections twice daily, which you're supposed to take for maximum 10 days. I ended up taking those injections for 11 months. And it was very painful because it was basically penye mafuta iko. So in my pot, when the pot has shibad, it had bumps and bruises. It was black and blue. My husband used to try and help me. But at some point he couldn't because I was the only one who could feel. I was looking for a space this small to put. To inject. Because if I injected any of the previous bruises, automatic bleeding, I'd be walking and my clothes start.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Kanini, you're talking about yourself, eh?
Yeah,
it's not something you read.
Let me tell you something. Laughter is the best medicine.
It is.
When you can laugh at what you're going through, yeah. Otherwise, you'll be depressed. Well.
Oh my God, talk to us.
Yeah. Then, of course, pia uko nyuma. Now we also ran out of sites to inject.
To inject.
Yeah. So it became a kind of crying session. But my kids, I decided to involve them in this because they knew that mommy is being injected, and they would wonder why. So I just said, no, you know, it's just dawa. Come and see, I'm not even crying, you know. So they would actually see when I'm being injected, you know, well, the less painful ones.
Right.
Just for me to show them, no, don't worry, mommy is okay, she's fine. This isn't something to be to feel pain about. Even you, when you go to hospital, if they dunga you, sit down, no, don't feel pain.
Yeah.
Be strong. So it became like an adventure for them. I guess it also helped me just cope with everything that was going on. So the doctors decided to do more tests, colonoscopy, endoscopy, now to see my intestines, what's going on. They had seen something in my lung, and they thought that could be the source of all this clotting, because usually it's from something that's malfunctioning. And a biopsy was done, and it was suspicious for malignancy. Now, when you're told suspicious for malignancy, you're not told it's cancer, it's just suspicious for malignancy. So me, I didn't think I had cancer. You see? But then the doctor...
Those terminologies.
Yeah. But the doctor wanted to go in, cut it out, and remove it. And we were like, okay, wait. When you do that, are you sure the clotting is going to stop? And he said, no, we still have to check your neck, your armpit, your what. And you know, all those are individual tests that are expensive, time-consuming. I couldn't work. Thank God NTV was so generous. So Dan Wangi actually took over the show for me while I was out, as they waited for me.
Right.
So that's when my husband decided no. He started doing research on India because of this machine called a PET scan. You go in once and it checks everything.
Every part.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
The technology is fantastic. So we arranged to go to India. And when we were making the plans, you know, we told our kids, see you in 10 days or in 14 days maximum. Yeah, we've just gone, you know.
Just to check.
Yeah, just to check.
Malignant.
It's DVT. I mean, come on, please. Yeah. I've already gone through
nothing
the worst.
deep.
I've already faced thrombolytics.
Yeah.
You know, surely, what more is there?
It can be worse.
Come on.
Yeah. Have you ever gone through trouble and you know you can't go to a deeper trouble? Which one?
Absolutely.
Then the deepest arrives.
Imagine.
So you were going with a smile, knowing this is just child's play.
Yeah, maximum 2 weeks. We leave and have time, God willing. We, I don't know, go to visit the Taj Mahal or something.
Yes.
Because we were going to New Delhi. So those guys are very chap. As soon as we landed, we saw the doctor. He booked us in for the booked me in for the PET scan the following day. Did that. Then as we're waiting for the results, I did the fine needle aspiration test. Now, I had some balls in my lymph nodes over here. And I used to think, hey, our bodies are funny. I have balls in my lymph nodes. Kumbe, they were cancer.
Okay.
So even him, he felt them and he was like, no, I need to check that out. So they took a needle that's like this long and inside there, so got the sample out, and then after that, he was like, okay, we need to go beyond this because now the test showed, which came first? Was I cut here? I've been cut many times. Anyway, suffice it to say, they cut me and took tissue samples now to test properly. So on Sunday, September 13th, he came into my hospital room. I was okay, I was easy. You know, hi doc, how are you? Have the results come out? Yeah. You know, and he had
we need to go see our children.
Yeah. And he had been speaking to my husband while I was still in the bathroom. So he just said, yeah, hello, Janet. Okay, all right, I'll see you later. And he went out and my husband followed him. I didn't think anything of it. So my hubby came back in and me, I was changing. Yeah, so what does he say? Nini. And just as I was rambling on, he says, Kanini, the doctor says you have stage 4 lung cancer. So the first thing I was like, huh? That's what Tata had. Tata who died.
Your dad?
Yeah, that's what he had. He says, you know, yeah, that's it. So I said, laughing. I think I just laugh when I'm stressed. So I laughed. I said, "You're joking." He said, "No." Okay. So continue changing. I said, "Come on, seriously, be serious. Stage 4. What do you mean 4? 4 is the last stage. It's a stage of death. Where did 1, 2, 3 happen?" You see, like
what
you were
I was
asking
asking about my dad. Okay,
When was
tell.
all this 1, 2, 3?
I sat down with the doctor and I was like, okay, tell me about 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Where did they go? How did they pass? What do you mean stage 4? I
Yes.
was totally confused.
You know?
So I know what you're saying. Yeah.
So anyway, that happened, and I just told him, you know, just go back, just go to the hotel. I need to stay here alone. So I stayed. I cried. Oh, an Indian nurse came in, but she was good. She even talked to me about God. Cried some more for her. So again, now that's now where I don't know. I feel like I was partially a zombie. It's like I was just existing.
Yeah.
You know, just waiting now.
I mean,
to be
because
told.
that's a death sentence. It's
It is.
actually being handed over
Yeah.
a death sentence because
Yeah.
there's no stage 5.
No, there isn't.
It's stage 4. So
Yeah.
this is it.
Yeah.
How
And
did
what I didn't realize at the time, my husband, that day, he had been told she has 6 months to live. He didn't tell me. And he told the doctor not to tell me. And it's good, actually, he didn't tell me. Because I think that would have messed up, and I would have behaved as if I'm dying. But yeah, when you actually keep looking at the calendar, you know.
Yeah.
So I had to wait now for 2 weeks because they needed to do an EGFR test, which is basically a gene mutation test, and that's an advantage that I'm happy that actually this was found in India because they could do it there. And then they found that I didn't have the mutation to take the pill, so I had to start chemotherapy. Now we had to figure out with insurance what's going to happen because we were coming for DVT, not for cancer. And I saw what happened with my father. Chemotherapy, it drains you financially. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, my goodness, I'm going to take food away from my baby's mouth for my treatment. How is that possible?
Hey.
And so now I was on a WhatsApp basis, you know, back home. My girls were asking, so, Janae, what are the results? When are you coming home? And eventually I told them. And that's when my classmates said, you know what, Janet, stop being stubborn, stop being proud. Admit that you don't have the money so that we get our networks to fundraise for you. It took some time.
Those are nice girlfriends.
By the way, they were on my case.
Oh,
Oi,
wow.
Janet, stop it. Yes,
Because you're wondering now, how do I start?
because I'm a
What do
TV personality.
Yes.
How do you say you're broke when you're a TV personality? For medical care. Fine, I had my salary and everything, but you see all these other tests, the bronchoscopy, colonoscopy, endoscopy, my insurance had already run out from the first 2 admissions. So we were literally paying out of our pockets. So by the time we went to India, we were relying on insurance. And insurance also hadn't given us enough.
Whoa.
We were told you can access 10% of your limit.
Hey.
All this time we had been thinking we were getting 100%. Anyway, hiyo ni story ya siku ingine. So, yeah, so basically the fundraising happened, and I think now, you know, I went public after a month of being in India. I couldn't really talk to anyone other than my mom and my sisters. Breaking it to my mom was difficult because she had been there when Tata every day, and I thought, oh my goodness, I'm going to tell her now your daughter is going through the same thing.
After the husband
Yeah.
had just passed.
You know, so when we were Skyping, I would try and hide the scars so that she doesn't see. But she could tell. She knew. So I told my sisters on the Monday, I got the news on Sunday. I told my sisters on Monday, this is the situation. Please adjust for the next 24 hours because I'm telling mommy tomorrow. So that when I tell her, you're there for her. So I told my mom the next day. And now it was about an exchange of, see, they're medics, so they wanted medical report, what does it say, tumor markers, nini, all that kind of stuff. But now we dealt. And after 1 month of being in India, I told the public. I wrote that post.
Get ready, because now it's your time, it's your season.
This is your year of supernatural increase. I don't care what the devil says. I decree and declare your hour of visitation has come.
Because if you are doing something great for God, expect opposition. But opposition is a sign of your strong position.
I prophesy that you are unstoppable.
The devil that said you can't make it, one day he will watch you rise. He will watch you get blessed. He will watch you become all that God called you to become.
On the 31st of March, we're going to be holding a couples meeting together with my husband. It's going to be at JCC Parklands, and it's going to be awesome. Last year, we had amazing couples dinner. It was so beautiful, and we were just open and candid, spoke about everything. And this year we are taking it even a notch higher. I want you to invite all your couple friends, and if you're a couple, it's only 4,000 shillings for the dinner, and normally the dinner is absolutely out of this world. So I want you to get ready for the couples dinner. You don't want to miss it for anything. So make sure you're here on the 31st. We're going to be having an amazing couples dinner.